NERF war! Right, let's sort this shit out. So, oops, hang on. As I've just shown you, because now I'm recording the second video to, oh, excuse me, burping again, to emphasize more usage on my NERF weaponry. I figured I might as well do operational, how it works, blah blah blah, more video footage stuff, editing, more work for me. So I've already done a 6-minute odd stuff by now, and you've already seen the differences between these two. And yeah, just paint. Yeah, both work the same way. And dual wielding, you can dual wield. You just simply, how I like to dual wield is like use the back of my hand to prime them by hitting that part, and then you just fire. I'll fire over here because I want to keep an eye on my darts. I'll come to that later. One thing I like to do once I've reloaded, spin it and flick it in. You can flick it in and, like I said before, give it a little twaddle. So it's like that. And this one does it a bit more. Yeah. So that's one way of doing that. I'm sure I had other notes I was going to make. I do. Oh yes, I do. Basic features of both models, they're exactly the same. You have a rail on top here to put like stuff like a scope or a light or whatever. You have a loop here to maybe connect to a belt or something. You got a loop here, but I'm not entirely sure what it's for. It doesn't really have a purpose. You wouldn't want to put your gun on that, and have it jostling around, especially when, like, if you do that, you pull it back but not all the way, it will make the dart come out. And once it's primed, well, that's another feature, I suppose. The way how this one works, when you shoot, you pull it back, it will shoot the dart out and then rotate the barrel. One. So, and oh, I might have lost that dart. Okay, well, I'll find that later. So, same thing. Bam. So, those are those two. Now, come on to this one. Whoops. This is called the Side Strike. Now, going in the same type of colour scheme as the more modern Strong Arm, you have the right hand side looking nice and pretty, and the left hand side looking a bit more plain. Right hand side, left hand side. That's it. I don't think there's any other different versions of this. It's a fairly new gun, the Zombie Strike series. Fairly new, so maybe in the future when they do a lesser version they'll probably have less paintwork somehow, but as you can see there's like bugger all paintwork on it anyway, apart from the Zombie Strike logo. So Side Strike is the name of it. You got a rail on the bottom for torches. I don't think a scope would be any useful down there unless you're somehow looking underneath. This is a single shot one. It can hold 1 bullet in the chamber and 2 in reserve, and it comes with a holster which you can hold up to 4 darts, and you can, and it's the belt clip here, so you can have it this way or you can have it that way if you're left-handed, or like have 2 and then just like ready to go. And typical front loading, no batteries, no nothing like that. You just pull like that, it's primed, and then you shoot, and it goes boop. And then you got to reload quickly, pull it again, and boop. Yep. So that's this one, Side Strike. The grip is pretty nice, holds really well. Nothing gets in the way up here, fits this part of your hand really well, and it's quite comfortable, and I've got large hands. And to kind of show the size of my hand, this is a Razor Naga, typical. This is my hand on a Razor Naga, so my hand's quite big. And Razor Nug is a bog standard one size, so. And if my hand is comfortable on this, then that's pretty cool. It's a nice little sidearm. Good place to put your finger when you don't want to put your finger in the trigger. So nice and symmetrical. That's why I like symmetrical design. And that is the Side Strike. Yeah, I figured I'd do a kind of a review-ish type video, additional recording of all my Nerf stuff. So that's that. I didn't talk about the grip actually on the strong arm. The grip's pretty much the same as that one. Nice to hold on this bit here. Nothing up here getting in the way. The grip on here is pretty nice, and you can put your finger on the end there, like that. The trigger's much better. It is definitely wider here than it is this one. This one's a narrow one. So you can tell that this one's a small one, this one's a beefy one. Okay, and then now we get to this beast. Now I got this yesterday, which is the whole reason why I'm doing another additional video. This is the Flip Fury. Zombie Strike again. Well, again, pretty looking on the right hand side, bugger all on the left hand side. They really need to sort that shit out. Like Flip Fury is painted there, and it's not painted here. And it's in the orange and wood imitation type theme of zombies. The grip is alright, pretty good. There is this little dip here which kind of digs into my hand, which is a bit annoying. I have to kind of hold it in a little bit of a weird way. If it weren't for that there, it would probably be a really nice fit. Fingers go around nicely. There's a hole here, and if you do have long fingers they can go into there. Or if you hold it a certain way it can go in there. But it's not too big a deal for me. Trigger's really nice, and yeah, you know, a bit too much orange for my liking. Personally I prefer the N-Strike series colour scheme of blue and white, but yeah, I might have to look into more N-Strike series type guns, but I think we're on zombies at the moment as the latest category of Nerf weaponry. So we'll see. Yeah, we'll have to see. Plus, you know, I ain't really got space to put in even more. I have 4 weapons so far. So 1, 2, 3, 4. This one I got nice second hand. These 2 I bought. This one's second hand. This one's brand new, and this one is brand new. So the features of this one now. Think of it as a strong arm times 2. Yep. So it's essentially a strong arm. Very similar in design, with barrels and everything. Only you have a secondary barrel. It's free spinning, and it's there at the bottom. Is where you load it. As you can see, there's these 2 cutouts here, and that enables for easier loading. Get dart out. So it comes with the zombie green darts. So you just put the dart in, give it a little tap, and it's good to go. Now, how you use it, exactly the same as any other gun. You prime it by pulling this back. There's also a belt loop here, which might be worth it. Yeah, that's not too bad. And then one on the primer for some reason. Who knows? Maybe for a phone charm thing or something. You got this rail here, does nothing. Apart from maybe you put your hand there. It is a bit... does give a little bit. Don't know if it does anything really, because you can put your hand on the bottom and fire like that, or just on the bottom like that, or if you're one-handed. Not entirely sure what that does. There is a rail on top for your scopes and lights and stuff, but this bottom one I don't think it does anything. It's just there for decoration, I guess, or to stand, maybe not. So yeah, prime it and then fire. Now this one's a powerful one. It might be because it's brand new darts, or I think the chambers might be a little bit tiny more narrower, so the darts are a tighter fit, so you have to push them down a little bit more. But this one is a bit more powerful than those 3 put together. Well, those 3. And yeah, it's quite nuts. So once you've run out of ammo on one barrel, you'll then want to use the other barrel. How do you use that? You use this secondary trigger here, and this does that. It switches the barrels. Now you've got to pull it all the way back to make sure it locks in. If you put it halfway, it kind of does that, and that's not good. And if it locks in like that, it's a bit loose. You want it to lock in properly. See, that's now proper. If you just do it a little bit and it's wobbly, that's not good. That'll damage your. I reckon that'll damage your gun. So you've got to do it properly. And then you switch barrels, prime it, fire, ready to go, and so on and so forth. So to fire, the top barrel is the only one that fires, and to reload you have to reload in the bottom barrel. Now reloading, I find, is a little bit more tricky when compared to reloading with a strong arm, purely because you have to reload right next to the gun as opposed to having the barrel out of the gun and you've got a bit more space. But it's a feature of the gun, get used to it and its operation. It's also quite loud when you're switching barrels, so you do have a nice stealth element with no motors or gear or anything like that, but until you have to switch the barrels. I suppose you could do it quietly and then kind of like slam it in, but nah, you have to use the trigger. Right, so if you do pull it back, you've primed it, and then you can switch triggers and it'll fire. So the priming, switch triggers, switch barrels I mean, and it's ready to go. But if you prime it and then do it half-assed, it'll still fire, but it's a bit, you don't want that. See, you don't want that shake on it. It does have slam fire, which means that you hold down the trigger and then all you have to do is pull this back multiple times and then it'll fire until you run out of ammo, and then next one, and so on. So it does have that, that's good. But yeah, I saw this and I was like, yeah, I want it. I really wanted it because of that. It's essentially two strong arms in one hand, really, which is pretty cool. So yeah, the only slight niggle really is this bit here. I'm not one for modding anything, but I guess if you wanted to shave that bit off, you could do to make it more like this, so it goes up instead of having a bulge. And even on this one as well, it's just like flat. So I don't know why they decided to go like that. This one, obviously, being a single shot, you can only shoot once and then have to load, shoot, load. Obviously, this has slam fire as well, so you hold down the trigger and all that, and it's good. I think this fires a bit faster than this. I don't know. Yeah, this one feels a bit longer it takes to fire, but it's not too long. Yeah, I'd say if you're into front loaders and barrels and stuff, and have a spare like 20 quid lying around, yeah, go for it. So that's pretty cool. My favourites are still the strong arms, because they are just beefy 6-shooter pistols, really, aren't they? Like Desert Eagle, not Desert Eagle, but you know, like big ass guns. You can see like a futuristic game or sci-fi show shooting lasers out of this thing or something. It's brilliant. Yeah. So that is my current NERF collection at the moment. Let's get a nice comparative shot view. Does that look good? I can't tell. In the light. In the light. Right. One more thing. Now, no, two more things. I can't remember what bullet that's from. I think that's from this. I like to keep the bullets on each weapon separate and individual to each weapon, so kind of know where they're coming from. I suppose mixing up will happen eventually. Yeah, I'll have to get the rest later. Oh yeah, I'm missing one. I might be missing one around there. Okay, one more thing. Two more things. I keep saying one more thing. These, I got these. These are special edition or limited edition grey N-Strike Elite bullets, darts. They're really cool looking. My silver bullets, as they were. I got enough to put in both the strong arms, and I did at one point. And I think this is enough for both, and I got enough for spares, so enough for both guns and enough for both guns one reload. And they just look really cool, and yeah, I thought it was really nice. I did get ones that were a picture of blue with the camo digital, but they only came out as grey when they got delivered, and so I was like, well, fuck it, I'll keep them, doesn't matter, screw it. Unfortunately for those, here's the last thing. This I got with some thinking putty I got ages ago. It is a black light keychain, and don't know if you can see that, but that's the black light. Now, it's probably the worst time of day to be doing this type of thing, but if you ever lose your darts, namely the blue elite darts or the green zombie darts, or any dart that's got like a neon tip on it, use a black light. Now I've got this, so I have an LED blacklight torch on the way, so that'll be much more helpful when I'm firing off around my room and I can't find them. But they light up the darts in the dark really well. And on the weapons as well, the luminous orange and greens. I don't know if this one works. I'll have to test out this one. This one's not looking like it's working that well. But this one is, and the N-Strike a little, not that much. But the darts, they're more for the darts when you're losing them. As you can see, I hope, is that I'm messing this up. And that's from a blacklight torch. So yeah, if you can get a blacklight torch that you can attach to the rail, you might be able to get in a dark environment tracer rounds. Or if the arena has blacklight lighting up in the ceiling, whatever, then these will just look like tracer rounds anyway. Just going pew pew. So yeah, if you always get a blacklight torch or keychain, better off with a torch, nice little LED powerful thing. And you're going for NERF walls indoors, and you can't find them with a normal torch, get one of these and look for the luminousness. So yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. So yeah, unfortunately, these special edition ones do not show up under black light at all. Now to compare those, yeah, so while the special editions are really cool, unless you're in a really nice brightly lit area that you know you're not going to lose the stuff, you're probably better off with either one of these two. Doesn't really matter, I suppose, what one, unless it's the type of game. I personally prefer these ones, but then I like blue, so that's my personal preference. Yay! So that's it. That's my special darts, zombie strike darts, N-Strike Elite darts, my NERF weaponry that I currently have. I do have plans to get more. I don't know when, how much they will be, or where they will be stored. Gonna have to create like an armory. But yeah, there we go. NERF stuffs.